Now, two major Supreme Court rulings today affecting millions of Americans. The court struck down the Biden administration's plan to forgive student debt. The court also ruled a business did not have to provide services to a gay couple. These rulings will have historic, wide-ranging impacts that the sharply divided Supreme Court with a conservative majority said the Biden administration overstepped their powers in their student loan plan. Rena Roy explains their arguments.
In a major blow to the Biden administration, the Supreme Court blocking the president's student loan forgiveness program in a 6-3 decision. The plan would have wiped out more than $400 billion in debt, up to $20,000 for millions of borrowers, like 33-year-old Ashley Robinson.
You're trying to make these payments. I know I've made at least 100 at this point. They haven't gone anywhere. So it literally is like a hamster wheel.
Federal student loan debt payments now set to restart once again in October after being paused for the last 3 years. The White House had approved the debt relief plan under the HEROES Act, but Republican states pushed back, accusing the administration of executive overreach.
Whether or not you think student loan debt relief is a good policy, it's a policy that should be the result of legislation by laws passed by Congress and not by executive fiat.
Senate Majority Leader Chuck Schumer in a statement saying this disappointing and cruel ruling shows the callousness of the MAGA Republican-controlled Supreme Court. Advocates of the plan vowing to fight back.
So I think the message we want to send strongly to student loan borrowers is this is not over. We will have our day again in the court and we will eventually win.
And this Supreme Court decision will impact Black Americans the most, with one analysis by Brandeis University showing Black borrowers on average still owe 95% of their original student loans 20 years after applying for it. Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
And in the High Court's other ruling, on the last day of Pride Month, 6 conservative justices decided that certain businesses have the right to refuse service to LGBTQ+ people. The majority opinion agreed with a Christian web designer who argued undertaking work from a same-sex couple conflicts with her religious views and freedom of speech. All 3 liberals on the court dissented, calling the decision heartbreaking. Colorado's anti-discrimination law prohibits discriminating against LGBTQ people and requires any business that's open to the public must serve all equally. But Justice Neil Gorsuch wrote, quote, Colorado seeks to force an individual to speak in ways that align with its views but defy her conscience about a matter of major significance.
A website is my canvas, and I cherish the freedom to express unique and custom messages that celebrate causes that I'm passionate about.
The dissent firing back with Justice Sonia Sotomayor writing, quote, there has been a backlash to the movement for liberty and equality. New forms of inclusion have been met with reactionary exclusion. This is heartbreaking, end quote. Meanwhile, right here locally across the river in Indiana, abortions are still legal despite the Indiana Supreme Court lifting an injunction that had kept the state's abortion ban from taking effect. That's because a second case is still going through the courts. That injunction, or block in other words, is over a religious freedom lawsuit. That suit is expected to be heard in September. The Indiana ban, if it were to eventually take effect, would allow exceptions in cases of rape and incest before the 10th week of pregnancy, and exceptions to protect the mother's life and physical health. It also allows the procedure if the fetus is diagnosed with a lethal anomaly. Indiana doctor Katie McHugh tells us these cases aren't clearly defined.
There's a lot of confusion, a lot of misinformation, and a lot of fear about doing it wrong. Because if we do it wrong, I could go to jail. My kids could be left without a mom at home. We have so much to lose here, but our patients also have so much to lose.
And again, there is still an injunction on the ban, meaning abortions are still legal in Indiana. Meanwhile, family and friends of Mark Jaggers Jr. say the police and the mayor's office have not painted a full picture of his violent death. Jaggers was shot by police on June 19th in what police are calling an armed carjacking attempt. The body camera video shows Jaggers approaching the vehicle where an undercover officer was inside. They were staking out a house in an unrelated case. That's when Jaggers gets close to the car door with a gun In his hand, the door swings open. You see it right here, and an officer soon after shoots him. WHAS11 reporter Travis Breeze is here now. Travis, what exactly are they claiming police have not considered here?
Isaiah, Jaggers' family says that the undercover officer should have gotten out of his car and identified himself as Jaggers was approaching the vehicle. They say he was walking to check out a suspicious vehicle and he could not see inside of the car because of the heavy window tint. The family says Jaggers was getting dropped off at home by his girlfriend and he thought there was a potential danger in the car. KSP admits the first 4 seconds of this video do not have any audio, and Jaggers' father claimed today that it was during those 4 seconds that his son asked, "Who's in that car?" to which the undercover cop did not respond. The family attorney does not dispute that he was holding a gun, and he says that that was reasonable for somebody who is checking out a suspicious vehicle.
I do not dispute that he had his gun out, as any sensible human being would do if he's investigating a very suspicious car.
My son said, "Who's in that car?" But he didn't contact my son until he shot him. He didn't hit the siren, he didn't hit the horn.
Detective Hayden says police less than 1 second before he fires the first shot into Jaggers Jr. We asked LMPD if it could respond to any of the allegations made today. The department said that Kentucky State Police is handling the investigation. As such, they could not comment. We did reach out to KSP, and we are yet to hear back at this time. Attorney Aubrey Williams says he will file a lawsuit on behalf of the family. In the studio, Travis Breeze, WHAS 11 on your side.
Travis, thank you so much. Now, more news here at 5. A man died overnight in the Phoenix Hill neighborhood after a shooting. That's according to LMPD officers. It happened just after midnight on East Muhammad Ali Boulevard at the Dosker Manor Apartments. There, they found a man who was shot. He was taken to the hospital, but LMPD officers say he later died. Right now, there are no suspects in this case. All new at 5, a look at how the city's crisis call diversion program is expanding. The program, first launched last year with success, gives MetroSafe dispatchers an option to transfer 911 calls to social workers instead of police officers. Connor Steffen got a firsthand look at how it'll all work from inside the call center. He joins us now. Connor, how big of an expansion are we talking about here?
Well, so Isaiah, the diversion program will start operating from 10 in the morning through 10 at night on July 1st. It's an expansion 2 years in the making.
Okay, so right here is where the calls would come in.
After 25 plus years in emergency services,
they receive the calls here.
James Polk is still astonished by the changes he's seen. At one time, thought unimaginable.
So it was always there. We just weren't smart enough to see it. Thinking about sending social workers out to do our job was terrifying.
Polk manages Metro government's crisis call diversion program, which gives MetroSafe dispatchers that option to transfer 911 calls to social workers.
It's been really encouraging to see the growth.
Nicole Wiseman from 7 County Services helps manage it.
So basically when someone reaches out to 911 and is experiencing a nonviolent behavioral health emergency, that's something that could come over to our team.
That team of dedicated crisis triage workers and mobile response team members is set to expand soon.
But we really haven't had that option through 911 here locally, where they can get immediately connected to a mental health professional that they can talk with over the phone, as well as have someone come out and meet them in person.
The team will grow to 20 full-time staff members on July 1st. The program will also roll out expanded hours, running from 10 in the morning to 10 at night.
I think it's saved lives because there's a lot of folks out there that have given up.
Since March 2022, CCDP has led to 1,400 plus crisis triage worker encounters, made more than 500 mobile runs, and helped more than 330 callers.
It's been really great to see how it's been well received by the community, by emergency services, mental health, and it'll just continue to grow and respond to folks that are in crisis.
Program leaders hope one day to expand to 24/7 services. But before that, it has to get over the hiring hurdle.
We're continually looking for folks to join the team. We have a range of folks that are in the mental health field, also folks that have lived experience with mental health, just a combination of.
For those interested in working for the CCDP, you can head to our website, WHAS11.com, for more. Isaiah.
Connor, thank you so much. Now, Mayor Craig Greenberg here in Louisville announced a new leader of group violence intervention today, called GVI for short. It's an initiative started under the Fisher administration in late 2020. Now, earlier this year, our focus team revealed it hasn't ramped up as quickly as city leaders would like. So input right now, this man, Michael Bogan, is the new director of GVI. The partnership between local, state, and federal agencies helps young people involved in gangs. Bogan is a former LMPD officer, making his way up the ranks to major in 2016. He then joined the Kentucky Department of Criminal Justice training. He's also a graduate of the University of Louisville. He'll start July 3rd. That's Monday.